There'd be a lot of poop in my pants. I've seen a 6-foot alligator go swinging through the air and slam into a tree.
These guys are the scientists of the supernatural, lecturers leaving lessons for inquiring laymen. They are applying the scientific method to a world that baffles science. They are the cryptids of the corn.
But who else has big black wings and red eyes?
Batman.
Oh, Mothman.
Oh yeah, Mothman.
A great white shark was stolen.
Oh, someone stole a shark?
I got stuff for you don't even know about.
She's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
Who knows? Anything could be possible. Anything could be possible.
It's really big abduction vibes.
Holy moly.
It sounds like you were abducted.
And it just stood up. I mean, it just like kept going and going. And she goes, what the?
Hello, and welcome back to the Corn Podcast. I am the great and powerful Mr. E.
And I am your journeyman, Jay.
Ooh, and together we are going to be joined by some amazing guests. We love these guys. We're going to talk about some really, really cool topics. So I'm going to kick it over to Jay to do the introductions.
Well, we are joined today with Dustin and Ryan from the Houndstooth Podcasting Network.
So close.
Sorry. The Coon Hunting Confidentials. And welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Howdy.
Welcome.
It's actually Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
What'd I say?
Dustin. You said Dustin.
I read it in
Dustin,
reverse. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Dustin's missing.
You just had to dip out,
You
man.
literally have one job on this show. I do all the scripts. I do all the editing. I do all the publishing. One job.
And
It's okay.
almost got her.
Hey, man, like he told y'all the other week, like he told you, he said, you don't know everything, man.
So we just did an episode with you guys. They're going to come out probably weeks apart, but we had a lot of fun doing that. So make sure everybody at home to go check that out. I'm sure I've already shared it to all of our social medias and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But please go give these guys, everybody deserves it. Give them a like, a share, and a 5-star review. Only 5 stars. If it's not 5, it's nothing.
Right. If you ain't first, you're last. And I came in about halfway through that interview, so I didn't get to hear the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to listening to it. But the half I did get to listen to is pretty fun and entertaining, especially at the end when you were sharing your. Well, no, I guess that was off air. Never mind. We'll keep that to ourselves. You're sharing your Ivor, story.
Oh, no, that was on air.
Was that on air?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got that recorded.
Oh, good.
So the episode with y'all are going to come out on the 25th of January.
So
it'll be
2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right. I was going to jump in, though, and tell you that I have a similar story to that. So maybe at the end of this one, we'll get into that as your ivermectin story.
Oh.
I got to hear it now.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun with you guys. But you have some really interesting topics we're going to talk about tonight. And we're just going to kind of have the general fun with it like we always do. So the floor is for you guys, however you want to do this. We're pretty easygoing when it comes to these things.
All right.
You lead the way, Daniel.
All right. Well, my name is Daniel Felker, and man, we do a podcast. It's Coon Hunting Confidentials. I'm a coon hunter. I've been coon hunting since I was 11, and I'm 42 now. So I've been coon hunting right at 30, a little over 30 years, about to be 43. And if anybody listens to when we were on the Appalachian Intelligence talking with them guys, I kind of mentioned the wreck I was in when I was a kid. I was 8 years old, and what I failed to mention is because I'm a freaking idiot, is that when I was 11 and I started coon hunting filled a void or a gap in my life that was created through that wreck. So it kind of became like therapy almost. I grabbed when I went that first night, I knew I wanted to coon hunt for the rest of my life, and so far, I'm on track to do that, and I plan on coon hunting until I damn die.
Might even die coon hunting.
If I die coon hunting, y'all say he went out with his boots on, and that would be my ideal way to go.
Literally, he couldn't get them off. He drowned.
I know I'll die fishing. I've almost died fishing 8 times. I don't know.
Hey, You ain't having much fun if you ain't almost sinking a boat or something like
Oh,
that.
I've almost been dragged to the ocean by a hammerhead shark. Almost been struck by lightning several times. Yeah.
Oh yes, good times, good times.
Good
And
times.
so Ryan started coon hunting with me. I was in my early 20s. Ryan was in his early teens. And
yeah, I was like 12, 13 years old.
How old are you now?
31.
And I'm 42. So that's what, 11, 12 years, something like that. So he started hunting with me as a teenager, and we just kind of been
Coon hunting back and forth ever since.
boys, like tight, even outside of coon hunting.
Yeah.
Through our weird life moments.
Oh,
We've kind of
some crazy moments.
yeah.
And you guys are a trio.
Yeah. We are a trio. Dustin, like I said, he had to leave. He's actually the one who got me listening to podcasts.
I still don't listen to podcasts really.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
he does a damn
Jeez.
podcast and don't listen to podcasts. But I kind of I guess he didn't really know what we was getting into. When we got into this, Dustin, I don't think Dustin really knew. I kind of threw the idea out there and I'll tell you how it all came about. It all came about from Tony Merkel. And if you ever talk to him, tell him I'm trying to get his ass on my show. We talk because it was the whole coon hunting Dogman thing in Kentucky.
Yep.
Okay, when I heard that was I already knew I wanted, I had already become addicted to listening to podcasts. I started listening to all the hunting ones, dog hunting podcasts there are out there. Then I branched out and started listening to conspiracy theory stuff. I started listening to Sam Tripoli, the Tinfoil Hat. Blurry Creatures is probably my favorite podcast to listen to.
We talking about 12 hours a day.
All right, so the interview is actually over because you said Blurry Creatures.
Oh, man.
That's the one we've been battling out with for our top spot.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just picking on you.
Okay.
No, so that's the one that literally, so we're both in the nature category, and that's who we keep knocking each other off for the top spot in the nature category.
Oh, foot.
So I've never even talked to the guys, and we always pick on them.
I put hours in the sports wilderness, and so that's kind of the category we were into, because I just kind of went off what the other coon hunting shows were.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of knew. I was listening to all these different podcasts, the Confessionals with Tony Merkel, and I listened to that episode, and I was like, that's it. Because I'm like, man, I'm a coon hunter, and I want to hear those coon hunting stories. I was like, there's got to be more out there.
And then he asked me 30 times.
Yeah, I was like, dude, you want to do a podcast? Let's do a podcast. Do a podcast. And I talked to Dustin, and Dustin was all in for it, off the rip. Because he listened to podcasts way before I was, and he kind of got me hooked onto them, and it just made sense. I was like, I talked to Dustin, I talked to Ryan. I was like, man, I think we can. I listened to several different podcasts, and I was like, I listened to those conspiracy guys and a bunch of different ones. I was like, maybe if we mishmash. It just kind of all started coming together once we started doing it, as far as the comedy and us pre-talking before we do. And I kind of got that idea from Grimerica, is how they'll do 30 minutes beforehand, then they go into their interview with somebody. So there's 30 minutes of an episode, 15 to 30 minutes of us BSing and cutting up and talking about coon hunting and just other odd and just different stuff before we get into the guest. But one of the things that I've noticed is there are a lot of people that report coon hunt stories that don't coon hunt anymore, and we've kind of so far this our first year has been reaching out into the coon hunting audience of coon hunters that still active coon hunt all the time, and so it's there's if they're not coon hunting, they're really listening to coon hunting podcast or at the hunts and stuff like that. I feel like there's a whole nother section of people. As a matter of fact, I listened to one with Wes, what's his name? Germer?
Yeah.
Sasquatch Chronicles a couple weeks ago. There was a coon hunting story. And that guy, he doesn't coon hunt anymore, so he doesn't even know we exist. So, I feel like there's a lot of coon hunting stories out there like yours that's handed down to you, and I think there are a lot of handed down weird ass coon hunting stories out there. It's just
We want to hear them.
putting it out there to people that, hey, we want to hear these coon hunt stories, and you might not have coon hunted in 30 years, and it might have happened when you was 15 years old, but I want to hear about it.
So what's the best way for people to contact you? Because that's a great insert right there. If you guys, anybody at home has a coon hunting story or whatever the hell you hunt in England and Australia, that's kind of the other two countries we're really big in.
If you're using dogs and hunting it.
If you're using dogs and hunting it. But no, what's the best way for these people to get a hold of you guys?
Okay. They can reach out to us at my email address, or our email address is htpodinfo, is htpodinfo @gmail.com.
And
So-
I'll have all of that in the description below. Anybody that wants to reach out to these guys, I'll have it and make it really easy. Because when we started, it was kind of the same thing for the stories. We think a lot of these stories die with people.
Mhm.
And then they're gone.
Exactly. There's a lot of coon hunting stories like that.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing great. Listen to your podcast literally all day today. I was grocery shopping, doing work around here, getting podcast stuff up, and I love it. It's a lot
Hopefully
of fun.
You got to laugh a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Probably says some pretty dumb stuff.
I'm gonna have to tell Wild Bill though. You guys were picking on him.
We only mentioned mountain monsters like once or twice. It was early on,
I think-
early on, and we mentioned like finding Bigfoot
Mhm.
and the mountain monsters, and we weren't really picking on them.
I
It's
know.
just
we pick on him.
added for the stuff that's added for TV,
Right.
especially the finding Bigfoot stuff.
It would be cool to be on a Finding Bigfoot, though.
There you go.
It would be.
I'd help them chase somebody down, beat the hell out of them or something.
No, we like I told you guys when we did your guys' show, we know all those guys, and they'll tell you that it's all, the areas are real and stuff like that, but and the eyewitnesses that they actually have come on and share their experiences are real, but the rest of it's made for TV.
Yeah.
If they had a Bigfoot on a thermal every time they went out, or if Wild Bill was 2 foot from the Snallygaster every week, we'd have one in a cage.
Or he'd have knocked it out by
He'd
now,
have knocked it out.
knowing him.
We'd have some samples anyway.
And then you get talked about Tony. We love Tony.
If Tony happens to hear this, man, come on and talk to us, dude. Tell us this story. Tell our audience this coon hunting story, because I'll be honest, they don't talk about coon hunting intelligently. He can tell the story, but see, here's when I listened to that story and he first started out, and I was like, okay, this is a coon hunting story, and I'm like, this guy's not gonna fool me. If he's talking about coon hunting, I've been doing this long enough. If there's, because I've listened to one coon hunting story on, can I name the podcast?
I don't care.
that it's on?
You guys
It
are
was on
you.
Okay, it was
He
on
can edit it.
it was on Dogman Encounters.
Oh yeah.
And I was listening to that, and this one woman was telling a coon hunting story in Michigan, and I called BS on that in the middle of it. I don't believe it because of the things she was saying. It was like, well, we harvested like 5 coons, and we were toting them 2 miles. And I'm like, that's BS, because them coons are big in Michigan. They're freaking big, and you're not hand toting 5 damn coons out of the woods as a teenager. There's no way.
Not a woman.
And there's like 3 of them or something, and I was like, I didn't believe it.
I used to fur trap, and dragging them in a sled in the winter was hard, let alone carry them on your back.
Yeah, and she's talking about they have 4 or 5 of them.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, no, those are big coons up there. But when I listened to that guy talking with Tony, he used lingo that I understood. He said things like they would hold pressure. Only a coon hunter is going to know.
Yeah.
A person that's fooling with dogs is going to know what holding pressure
I have no
means.
idea what the hell that is. So
Is that hold pressure?
I mean, they stay on a tree no matter what. No matter
Yeah.
what's
Okay.
going on.
what pressure's been put on.
They gonna stay there.
okay. Yeah,
And
we have kind of the same thing. Early on, we go to a lot of conferences and stuff like that for this stuff. And with my background, it was like a lot of speakers were like, I'm just like, they have no idea what the hell they're saying at all. Like, these people will use what they think are educated words, shove them into their presentation. And because the average person doesn't know, it's fine. You don't know because it's not in your field.
Your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there like, this is so dumb. We can't name names.
I know.
But we've literally sat at conferences and I'm like, this person is very dumb, and it's very good at using big words about every 18th word. It's just, So I get that when it's the lingo of your field, it's you can definitely tell whether somebody's walking the walk or not.
Yeah. So I honestly believed, as far as everything he was saying, coon hunting, the dude knew what he was talking about as far as dogs go and stuff like that. And man, I don't even know why I got on that, but when I heard that guy talking, I believed his story, and I knew right off the rip, I was like, man, we got to hear more of these.
Pretty much what really set it off for having a podcast.
Yeah, it was kind of like that was it. I knew I wanted to do a coon hunting podcast, but I wanted to mix it in with just to be different than all the other coon hunting podcasts. And yeah, man, I mean, I guess we never really looked at it as far as like being an ambassador or something, but I guess in a kind of a sense we are, because it's like reaching coon hunting and representing coon hunting in an area like the cryptid stuff.
Yeah.
It is and coon hunting and or paranormal.
You guys are extremely unique, and I agree with it. It's because like I could find you typing in X encounter, it'd pop up. And I told you, I learned more today about coon hunting than I ever did. And we have people that coon hunt around here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people that coon hunt in Ohio.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about it. My family did. I don't know nothing about it. So that's...
I mean, the coon dog trials are huge here.
I was trying to tell them about it today.
Yeah.
The coon dog trials. Or last night when we talked on the phone.
Last night, yeah.
What? Do you know the actual name? Is it Max's Coon Dog Trials still?
That I'm not. I always just knew it as coon dog trials.
I know.
That's all I knew it as.
Best place to buy an overpriced puppy.
Mr. Steve Fielder will know exactly what you're talking about. If anybody knows, Mr. Steve will know it.
There you go.
And we'll see him this weekend, so I'm gonna ask him.
Just shoot me a text, tell me what he says, because it's still giant. I mean, there's thousands of people there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, thousands of sober people aren't there, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just growing up, I always heard about it. Always heard. My family doesn't do this at all. My family does not coon dog hunt, and I knew about it. And so it's like, it's big then. Like
that's because, if you didn't coon dog hunt, you stayed away because it was crazy.
Exactly, yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, we need to go check that out.
If you guys do, we got property you can hunt. You teach us how to coon dog hunt.
Oh, yeah.
So we killed on this property like 112 coons just spotlighting in like a couple weeks this past summer for nuisance.
That's crazy.
I can imagine. Dude, we don't, in our part of South
We
Carolina,
didn't see that last year.
we probably won't tree 100 coons in a year.
Oh, no. You could probably, if you guys come up here, you probably do that in a night.
They're everywhere.
We had one tree, we pulled at least 15 coons out of one hole.
That's crazy.
It's good. We don't got nothing up here to eat them.
That's true, yeah. The deer ain't going to eat them. Well,
We should train them.
What's the coyote population like? I mean,
Too many.
A lot of them, too.
But they're eating all the rabbits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather eat a rabbit or a raccoon?
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Right.
Or a
Bobcat
chicken.
the best, though.
He says bobcat's
Bobcat's the best tasting critter I've ever ate.
So we just got them back. My dad's got a really cool trail camera picture of a bobcat ripping up a raccoon.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But sorry, I cut you guys off. We're famous for it.
That's fine. We'll listen to that. I mean, you're talking about a bobcat ripping up a raccoon. I believe that.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things in that I think not all of them, but some people report some things that they think are weird that I think
They
are
probably
bobcat.
heard something like that, a bobcat ripping up a raccoon. That probably sounds crazy as
If you don't know what a bobcat or a mountain lion sounds like, or an elk, imagine if you didn't know what an elk sounded like and you heard an elk bellow. You'd crap yourself. I mean, it's the scariest noise. That elk bellowing in the in the morning. That would be like it's basically a dragon. Your imagination's going to turn it into a dragon, or
What the hell is that?
yeah, or the bobcats. I've been around bobcats a lot in Michigan. We had wolf and mountain lion by our cabin in Michigan, and the noises the mountain lion or bobcat will make are just like bobcats sound like women getting murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
You ever just heard house cats breeding?
Oh yeah,
It sounds like something's getting a woman getting murdered.
Male cats have backwards facing barbs on their penis to help scrape out competitor semen. That's why it's not very comfortable.
It didn't sound very comfortable.
Dang.
Oh, yeah, there's your nature fact for the episode.
Glad I'm not a cat.
But yeah, you guys have, I can't wait any longer. You guys have a very interesting idea that I think makes a lot of sense, but I want to hear more about it. So I'm going to let you introduce it.
Which one? Do you want me to talk about the not dog man?
Yes. Talk about
Okay.
not Dogman.
I have this theory. I've mentioned it to Ryan. I haven't really talked to Dustin a whole lot about it. But a lot of these dogman encounters, I don't sound like a dog to me. They sound like a big, pissed off raccoon.
Raccoon man.
Like a raccoon man. They talk about the hands being shaped like a raccoon. It's like, oh, the hands, they didn't have paws like a dog, but they kind of had claws like a raccoon. And then I heard some of them talk about these dog man that the way they look on all fours, they have a hump in their back.
Show us real quick.
And like, no, I can't show you. I can't show you. But if you've ever seen a raccoon stand up on his back legs, they will stand up on their back legs and they will fight. And they can walk and they'll walk on their back legs.
He'll hump his back up too to make himself look bigger.
Yeah, and a lot of dogman encounters, the only thing that's missing that I've heard them talk about is a ringtail and the mask on the face. Other than that, everything else sounds like a huge raccoon that is pissed off and maybe borderline demon possessed. is kind of what it sounds like. And it's like, even if it is a dog of any freaking type, it's not gonna have claws that can do like this,
like grab, yeah,
like grab stuff, and so none of it. They just don't sound like a dog to me at all. I listened to one on Tony Merkel's I'm a member there, and I listened to the one that he just had a couple weeks ago called like Slaying Dogman or something. And the guy was giving the description of what his granddad saw, and he's like, I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, sounds like a raccoon. Sounds like a raccoon. And he talks about the hands, and he's like, well, they're kind of raccoon-like. And I'm like, I told you, it's a damn raccoon. It's not whatever DNA this thing has got raccoon DNA in it to some extent.
I should have looked this up before the episode. But, so, raccoons are kind of distantly related to, like, the bear family, stuff like that. Yeah. I kind of wonder if North America had, like, a 5 or 6 foot tall raccoon that went extinct, like a cousin that went extinct.
I've never thought about that.
Because that may make perfect freaking sense.
Yeah. So, and
you imagine how much of an attitude a raccoon would have if it was 5 foot tall. They got an attitude now.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest raccoon I've ever seen in my life was, let me think, it would have been between my 5th grade year and 6th grade year. So I was, 92. I'd already started coon hunting. I'd been coon hunting for about a year or two with my dad. We started at the same time. And anyway, my dad was, at that time, he was a union rep for Mack Truck. So he was a part of the UAW, and he had to go to this place. We went up there to this place in Michigan called Black Lake, Michigan. And there was like a training facilities for union members and union reps and stuff like that. And like I said, he was a union rep at that time. And the whole family went up there, me, my mom, my dad. And there was a place, it was kind of like a 2-week summer camp for me. They had to go to training and they kind of made it fun for spouses and some shit like that, I reckon. I really don't know. But for me, it was like summer camp with us. And they had this game room, and it was a huge game room, and it was glass all the way around. It was just one big glass game room. And it's all wooded. There's no hunting. There's no killing. You could fish, but you had to turn the fish loose again. And so I'm a country boy from South Carolina. I did not understand the catch and release part of those fish. We had a little corn, and they was like, I'm like, if we're fishing, I'm eating. And so one dude had caught a fish and it was like, it's dead. So we're going to take it over to the such and such and see if we can get them to cook it for you. And I caught a trout and I'm over here like, bam, 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 smashing the head of it.
What are you doing?
Beating it. And the dude just kept, like, what are you doing? I was like, I want to eat mine too. And so I didn't get to fish anymore after that. But we were in that game room and this huge raccoon comes walking up to this trash can and just stands up on his back legs, tips the top of it up. It's like one of those like the metal type trash cans that you'll see in WWE or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll be beat with. That's the type of trash can it was with the metal lid that goes on top. And that coon just reared up on his back legs, easy as could be, popped that top off, and was just pulled itself over into that trash can and was eating. And that is the biggest raccoon up on his back legs. His head was about level with the top of that trash can. Standing on his back legs, it was 3.5 foot tall.
Oh, he's experienced. He knew what he was doing. That's how he got so big.
The biggest,
you couldn't hunt him.
Yeah.
The biggest raccoon I ever seen was at church camp, but it wasn't like tall like that. It was probably wider than it was tall. Just eating out of that, just basically eating out just grease and stuff.
What about that dog you hit when you were driving?
Oh no, that was the biggest raccoon I've ever seen. It's fine. I blocked that out. So I was 16, and why do you make this about me? We have guests.
Sorry.
Did you ran over a coon?
So I'm 16, got my license. Like first night I've had my license. We live way out in the country. I'm heading back. This dog runs out in front of me, a big, like 40, 50-pound dog, and I just smack it and it rolls into the cornfield.
Ooh.
And so I pull over, and there's a house right there. So I'm like, I just hit this family's dog, but I got to go get it because, I don't want these people to be looking for their dog, for weeks and not know where it is and stuff. The least I can do is go get it for them. And I'm like basically in tears. I have that little flip phone with a light. Like, I finally found this like 40 or 50-pound bloody raccoon that I just smashed. It destroyed the front end of my car, all this stuff. It was a gigantic raccoon. I forgot. I blacked that out because it's such a sour memory. No, I looked it up, though, while you were talking. Sorry. There was a giant extinct raccoon from North and South America.
Really?
Got to be about 200 pounds and 6 foot tall. What if it stood up on its hind legs? Does that sound familiar to anybody? It was called, here's a scientific name for you, Champalimalia armigano rhino. Described in 1908.
1908, that's fairly recent.
Yeah. They probably thought it was a giant ground sloth.
It's kind of like the massive amount of reportings in Arkansas of some type of hyena creature. Well, that was like some type of a hyena that lived in North America at one point in time.
Yeah, we had pretty much all the same mammals at least some type of whatever was in Africa. We had the North American cheetah, like pronghorns. The only reason pronghorns are so fast, pronghorn antelope are so fast, is because we had a North American cheetah. The cheetah went extinct. So the pronghorns, there's nothing really can grab a pronghorn. You can catch them in a corner or something like that. But when they get running, no wolf or nothing's touching those things. I mean, they can run 60-something miles an hour.
What's the raccoon's closest relative? Like, I know they're not close to dogs or like bears. You said bears. Bears are the closest?
Like, out of the raccoon family group?
Yeah, like what are they closely related to?
Like red pandas. There's a couple other... There's a bunch of species in the raccoon family.
I mean, are they rodents?
No.
Okay.
They're raccoons.
Cootamundi, aren't they in the raccoon family?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they are. But yeah, raccoons are their own family.
Okay. Just kidding.
Yeah, they're believe it or not, they all look the same, but there are several species of raccoons in North America.
Subspecies.
I believe it.
Yeah, that'll get bigger than others. Like a coon, whatever. There's like a species of coon in Florida that's
That's
not
a Keys coon.
They're
It's
not.
called
They
a
don't.
Keys coon.
They don't get as big as say a coon in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they all different sizes.
Their environments call for different needs and stuff like that. So yeah, there's no like the Keys deer, like a big one's like 40 pounds. They're basically big rabbits.
Yeah.
But I really think you're onto something with that idea. I think the second you said it through text, I was like, that's really cool. Because I can't tell you how. Sorry.
I'm a raccoon man guy.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you how many stories we've heard, like especially in Michigan and stuff, like them being near water, using their hands, them digging in mounds with their hands, stuff like that.
It takes a raccoon man though to connect those dots. What's the level of intelligence of like raccoons? I mean,
they're very smart.
I thought
smart.
so.
They're very smart.
An oversized
Very
one,
smart.
might even have more brain capacity or something.
Or
This
just,
is
Good.
I'm telling you, I told you.
They learn. A raccoon will learn things. Even being
Damn
chased
near
by
monkey
coyotes, if they're ran a lot, they will learn. They'll get used to trees that they could go up and cross over trees.
They're problem solvers.
They're very smart. They know when they're being ran. They know, especially if they're rutting. If they're rutting, they're gonna run and they're gonna run and run, and they're very reluctant to go up a tree if a male's breeding. In that time, and we're getting ready to hit it here pretty soon.
Mhm.
We haven't really had a rut season yet that I could really tell. But when they start, the males, we call them bow coons. The bows they'll really run, and they're frisky like that. But over time, they'll learn different ways to get away. They'll learn different ways to run through the woods to throw their scent off. Like I've literally probably 15 years ago or so, maybe a little bit longer, we was on a competition hunt and we heard a raccoon come up out of a swampy bottom and come up and hit the grass, it was leaves in that bottom, and we heard it running, and it just ran round and round like it just did figure eights in like a little 20-yard section, and just running all kind of just making stuff right there, and then it took off. And when them dogs come out of that swamp and they hit that section, it took them about 5 minutes to figure that out, that coon had just dropped a bunch of scent in one area and then took out. And it took them about 5 minutes to figure that out, and then they left out on it again. But it's those little things like that they'll figure out, and how to get, especially if they get ran a lot. In our area, they get ran a lot because we live like right here in the Sumter National Forest. National Forest is everywhere around us, and they get dogged a good bit, and the smart ones breed to smart coons. After this time of the year, when rut season starts, you got smart coons breeding smart coons.
All the dumb ones done been killed.
You guys need to come up here. I don't know what you guys would do at night, and you guys. I already asked my father to make sure, but you guys are more than welcome to come up here and hunt some coons because we got plenty.
I don't believe it.
I don't even know what you guys would do.
Shoot, yeah, my grandma has like such a coon problem on her property in her barn. I just set out live traps, and about 3 of them just around. For a month, we had one every night in there, and these are no small, these are big coons.
This is eating all that corn.
Eating our garbage, eating our chickens,
everything,
eating every turkey egg that's ever been born.
Yep, they'll do that. It is like whether they know the amount of fat that they need to pack on for the area that they live in. They're just smart like that. And so in y'all's area, I imagine y'all got hit pretty hard a couple of weeks ago. In
negative 32. Negative 32.
See, they know what fat they need to pack on to survive those days that they're not going to be eating. Because they know what's coming. Just like here, I sell corn to like deer hunters and stuff, and they talk about these damn raccoons eating all my deer feed. And I'm like, they're just trying to get ready for the winter is all, man. There's nothing in the woods that does not eat corn. Coyote eats corn.
Mm-hmm.
Deer, turkey, squirrel,
Rabbits.
coons, rabbits. Everything
Everything.
eats corn.
So we did. My brother had corn out a while ago, but we flipped. I flip logs to look for salamander stuff like that. I could not tell you how much corn was in every log, every stump.
Squirrels,
It was rodents. It was voles and mice would take it and store it in every little nook and cranny. It wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the freaking turkeys or not. It wasn't the raccoons or It was literally hundreds of mice working every night to get rid of a 50-pound bag of corn.
It's getting rid of that negative 32.
Mm-hmm. A little corn kernel's nice when it's negative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But now I think you're onto something with this the coon man.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe we're on to something kind of like your upper atmosphere biological creatures.
You should do a full episode on it, like a little bit of researched episode, because I think that'd be a real big hit.
I'm curious to see what one looks like.
I need to do it. I need to do some research on it, because I haven't really what you talked about a little while ago, that cryptid creature. That hadn't even popped in my head. Could there have been something in the raccoon family that lived that was really big? It was just all the stuff that they were describing, the way they would describe it, and it just none of it sounds completely like a dog. But a raccoon's gonna look kind of like a dog too.
Snout, face.
They're close enough, looking.
Yeah. The only thing missing is the mask and the ring tail.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you look at the raccoon's family. Not everybody has the mask and the ring tail. You can still have the hands and stuff like that, and not have that. But I really think you're onto something. I really think you're onto something. And I just did one little search on Google on my phone while you were talking, and found at least one species of extinct raccoon that got 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. From North America. So who's telling that, this could be relic species, stuff like that. If they're really smart and good at hiding. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really think you need to do a full episode on it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. No matter how big a raccoon's body is, if their head will go in it, their body will go in it. That's the absolutely God's honest truth. If their head can get in it, they will their body will, they'll squeeze through it.
What's that remind you of, Jay? Do you remember?
An octopus?
No, the first Michigan Dogman sighting. On the Manistee River, these loggers thought a dog was in a hollowed out log. And they took a stick and they started trying to work this dog out of this hole, this big hollowed log. And they finally worked out the creature, and it stood up, and it was a 6 foot tall dog man. And they couldn't, that was the whole thing, is they couldn't figure out how it got into something so small. But now that you say this, that makes me think of that. Is that, a raccoon is just wedged in this log and finally got mad enough from being stabbed 100 times to come out, and then those loggers all left. That was the first modern Michigan Dogman sighting. That was like 1850s, something like that. This is
a lot of that area.
There's a lot in Michigan, Wisconsin, the UP. But they sound really raccoony now. It's like my head's spinning because now I'm going through every Dogman story. Like, okay, does that fit? Does that fit? Does that fit? And I mean, just how much they do with their hands and stuff like that.
That's what gets me. Yeah.
Because it's
that's what me too is that their hands, what they do with their hands. I think I listened to what was it? I haven't listened to it in a while. It's the paranormal something. It's a dude out of Texas, Josh Turner. I think he's in Texas. It was the paranormal something or another. He had a Dogman encounter, and I listened to him talk about a couple of those different ones, and that's when I was like, and they mentioned raccoon hands. They was doing stuff and I'm like,
it's a raccoon man.
Dogs have paws, not paws. And so I don't know what else to say, man. I just really think it's some type of raccoon man.
I'm going to say that everybody that's listening to Cryptids the Corn podcast, you should expect a full-length raccoon man from these guys, a full-length episode. I'm putting it on you now. I'm putting high standards because I want to hear more. Like, I really think you have it. I'm really excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of markers, hitting on this one.
I really think I'll send you. You gotta remind me. I'll send you some of our Michigan Dogman sightings and stuff like that I'll flag for you to sound like, because I really think that there's a lot there to what you're saying, because it explains a lot.
And it's not only that; it's the way the hump in the back looks. The dog does not have that hump in the back. You'll see a dog sway in the back, kind of like a horse might do, quicker than you'll see a dog hump in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or in the way, if you see a raccoon run across the road, what is it? It's got that hump in the back. It humps, and and I'm not gonna say it don't move like fat like a groundhog will. They'll like roll with them.
Yeah.
And the raccoon is you'll see the hump in the back when they're running, and it's even when if you've ever seen a raccoon stand up on its back legs, and they can fight really, really good. And I don't like when I knock a coon out, I really don't want one to have a whole lot of life to it, because they can mess a dog up.
Oh yeah.
I would rather, if I lived up there and had raccoons the size that y'all have, they would be headshot every time.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come out completely dead. And I try to do that now, but if you knock one out, and like I shot one the other night, I had my little girl with me. She's 10. It was just me and her, and I just wanted it to hit the ground and be dead. And I shot it one time, and it bailed out of the top of that tree, and it went straight to the creek and stood up on his back legs, and it was ready to fight. And that's what it was. And I had to get my dog away and actually put another shot in it, because it could muck my dog up really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one time nick a dog right there between the eyes, and it started bleeding really bad. And so I'm in the middle of the woods, so I had an old timer with me that taught me a trick. Got a little bit of moss and a little bit of wet mud, and kind of just made something and just held it there until the bleeding, it kind of stopped it up and it stopped bleeding. And then we went on, continued hunting. He didn't bother him none, but just little things like that could happen if that coon's not completely dead. It could take out an eye. It can mess a dog up really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you take one that's 50, 60 pounds by itself. That's and I think up in y'all's neck of the woods, they can get that big if they pack on a lot of food. I wouldn't want my dog to get a hold of one like that.
No, I wouldn't want to see that.
Mm-mm.
I'm scared of a 30-pound raccoon.
Hey, I did get bit. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I got bit the other week by my first raccoon right on the tip of my finger.
For the first time?
Yeah, that's the first time I heard it. I heard and I felt it, and I'm like, you saw, God. It got me right on the tip of my daggone finger.
Got it.
I didn't go get no rabies shot or nothing like that. I wasn't going to do that. But
yeah, you don't
he
need
might
that.
turn into a raccoon man.
That's how it happens.
It's,
hey, I gotta run to the restroom. I got some Modelo trying to come out of
it's
me.
all good.
It's right here. So I'm gonna leave y'all with Ryan for a second. Let him.
Ryan, this is your chance to talk.
I don't know what to say, man.
You ever been bit by a raccoon?
Never. I hope I don't have to get bit by a raccoon.
So you're the more experienced one.
What do you think of Raccoon Man?
I think it's got to be what it is. Because like you said, dogs have paws, not claws.
He's definitely convincing me so far. Because I think
you said that there was one that was 200 pounds and 6 foot tall. That's kind of what it sounds like they're seeing. Something that would weigh about 200 pounds and is about 6 foot tall.
It really is, because the Dogman is, out of all the cryptids we've ever talked about, and
Dogman's weird.
The Dogman's the one I've had the most trouble with.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess I don't ever doubt anybody that comes on and shares an encounter or nothing like that. It's not that, but as it being the werewolf type creature. I've never got behind.
Just putting your finger on exactly what it is. Because
there's people are seeing something.
Yeah, there's plenty of stories out there enough to know that there's something going on out there. But connecting all the dots of whatever every experience is, they're always something's a little different here or there. What they're seeing is just a little different here or there.
I thought I put it as demonic, I guess.
That too. I mean, that's a
what
whole
I
other
used
layer
to think,
to it.
but now I'm kind of. I think I'm flipping back to it being a biological creature.
I mean,
there's kind of like a Nephilim, like a hybrid.
Oh gosh,
raccoon species.
Joel, if you're listening to this, I love you, but I'm tired of the word Nephilim.
Nephilim coon hybrid dog.
I love you too.
We're going ice fishing with Joel next weekend.
Do what now?
We're going ice fishing with Joel next weekend.
That's what I think Bigfoot is, man. I think it's a Nephilim.
Man, I don't know, man. I think that as far as
extraterrestrial type.
As far as Bigfoot goes, I think you might have a couple different types.
Mm-hmm.
I do get into the Bigfoot, the woo woo part of the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But then I think there's a biological creature too. There's two or three different ones.
I think different kinds.
Both. I think you're 100% right. I've said that before on this show. That what I seen, it was flesh and blood. It was scared. When Dad shot the gun, it was scared. It knew, like, it had fears and needs. It wanted horse grain. It wanted to eat chickens. Like, it had biological needs.
No, wait a minute. Can a raccoon work its way into a chicken coop?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, could a 6 foot tall raccoon work its way into an electric chicken coop, knowing what to do?
If it could open a door, yeah. But it'd have to shut the door.
Okay.
He'd probably tear it all to shit.
Raccoons are more like cuttlefish intelligence. We've talked about that.
Okay.
Just smash the bottle.
Okay.
Don't open the bottle. Smash it.
Something that size, I think it would just rip a fence completely apart.
I don't think it would have much trouble.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a very big proponent in the flesh and blood. I think they're two separate things. We talk about the Fae folk a lot.
Hey, hallelujah. We do too.
So I think the Fae folk will put on whatever face you want them to have. So if you're going in the woods and you're thinking you're going to see a Bigfoot and you encounter a Fae folk, sorry, it keeps doing it. Yeah, if you go in the woods and you encounter a Fae folk and you're thinking you're going to encounter a Bigfoot, that's kind of the face they're going to wear. That's where you get some of these more supernatural Sasquatch sightings and stuff like that. That's my personal opinion. So I think, there's that animal that exists, but I think the supernatural Sasquatch only exist because of our consciousness and those extra dimensional entities wanting to wear something that I think they kind of assume it makes us feel more comfortable because that's what they want to see. Like that's what we want to see when we go out. Then it freaks us out and they don't know what to do. Now the Bigfoot has glowing red eyes and it's walking. There was that one story where it kind of did like a cartoon thing where it walked off the cliff but kept walking like it was still on ground. And, they just don't fit they don't fit our dimensional rules, let alone biological rules. But then, like, my encounter is what I keep going back to for the biological. That thing was scared of a gun. It wanted to eat. It had needs and it had fears. The other ones you hear about, they don't have that. Like, people, shoot them point blank and nothing happens. They don't react. They have glowing red eyes and
hopping out of orbs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree with you guys. I think they're two very distinct things that happen to just kind of look alike, whatever the reasoning is behind it.
So, man, I played, Ryan was with me a couple weeks. This might have been last week. And I was like, dude, you got to hear the intro to this one podcast. And I put on To Kill the Mockingbirds.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I love their intro. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it that I like. And now, Joel, I hope he hears this. If
he does listen to our show,
please tell him that. That shit gets annoying. I was like, dude, if he does that one more time, turn that damn thing off. If he does that one more time.
I love Joel so much. So now they got it where anybody sees him in public, they make him do it.
Really?
Yeah. He's telling me about that. I was talking to him on the phone on Saturday. Huh?
Mm-hmm. That's his trademark. That's
exactly. It's one of those things that just...
it's memorable.
Well, it kind of takes it on a life of its own.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like ours is that the sky organic UFOs. That's kind of taking on a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're booked out talking about that all the way into March.
Yeah, man, that's pretty good. That's a little bit better than Raccoon Man.
I don't know. I think you could. I really think Raccoon Man could be something. I expect to see you speaking at an event next year.
I don't know about all that.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, dude.
Dude, we've never been to like Crypticon. Like, we've only been doing this a year. We started January of last year, and so the only thing we've really done has been like coon hunting events, as far as like Autumn Oaks, and we're planning on going to Winter Classic in Batesville, Mississippi in February. So we're planning on going down there for that. And
so they do like Crypticon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How close are you guys to Hamlet, North Carolina? You know?
Not really, but it's probably within less than 3 hours. Maybe it depends on what part of North Carolina.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
I know it's in Hamlet. So
anything within North Carolina we could reach within 3 hours.
April 1st, Encounter Quest is happening.
I won't be there.
Why not?
That's turkey season.
Well, me and Jay are speakers for that one.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to go. I really do.
I understand.
I might have to check that one out because I don't give a damn about a turkey. I don't deer hunt.
I just raise them so I can eat them. It's easier.
I like the turkey hunt.
I don't like turkey. I don't do nothing but coon hunt. That's it. That's the only hunting I do. I don't deer hunt. I don't turkey hunt. I might go occasionally squirrel hunting with dogs if I'm with Ryan and Dustin.
Any type of dog hunting and turkey hunting is, yeah, and fishing. I mean, the fishing's a given. It's just gonna happen. But
I'm a big fisherman, but
turkey hunting first that.
Yeah, I really think. I don't know. I could see it next year, Crypticon.
Let's talk about
Daniel coming on, being the Raccoon Man expert.
Yeah, what's the? Have you given a name yet?
Like what? No, I just threw that out to him, dude. Like Raccoon Man.
Raccoon Man.
I just texted Justin and was like, yeah, I'd wait till I drop the Raccoon Man on your audience.
And I was like, they're going to love it.
Yeah, I do.
I haven't told that to anybody as far as my thoughts on that goes.
Now we got to research it.
I know. I put it out there. You have to do it now.
We need a costume.
Hey,
Get a costume.
Grand American that has that raccoon costume.
Oh, shit.
See, all the puzzle pieces are falling together.
Just steal his costume. Go wear it at Crypticon. Write a book.
Write a book. We'll steal the costume. But yeah, I mean, I might have to do some more research into this thing. But I don't know of anybody in our neck of the woods that's ever heard or reported of anything like that in the South, as far as any type of dog man that I've heard.
Every Dogman sighting is always attributed to, a werewolf or a dogman. It's never.
We do have one. Yes.
I do remember.
I was just going to say, we got a werewolf sighting pretty close. We don't really want to get into who had it.
Oh, yeah. There was drugs involved.
Nah, I don't. I mean,
maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe it was because there was some drugs involved at one time, but they definitely had a werewolf stalking them, they said.
Legit, like, that's what they were saying. I don't know, but anything
they done some pretty extreme shit.
Listen to
it, but I don't really want to put it on the air.
But I do remember when I was talking about that Josh Turner and the Paranormal Roundtable. That's it, Paranormal
Roundtable. Oh yeah, that's a big show.
Okay. What he was talking about was kind of like, it almost seemed like the Dogman stuff followed the corn from north to south. And they kind of put it in like the Native American stuff.
Raccoons love corn.
But it was like the dog man is like, could it be something of, could they all just be skinwalkers? And part of Native American is like, seem like the dog man follows the corn. I don't know if there's anything to that.
Raccoons love corn.
But
I have another thought, and I'd never had this before until Raccoon Man. So I just was thinking, you ever heard of the Rougarou?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
It might be a giant raccoon man.
Well, so yeah, all the Dogman sightings are pretty much south and north, about natural wetlands and stuff like that. Raccoons eat all kinds of stuff out of natural wetlands. So if you're a
That's where
big raccoon, that may be an awesome food source, plus the corn. But that's why, like, Ohio, the Midwest doesn't, like, the lower Midwest really doesn't have any dogman sightings. You know, a lot of Appalachia doesn't. But when you get down to, like, Louisiana, Arkansas, they have a lot of dogman sightings. You get Michigan, you know, Michigan is full of natural wetlands still, spring water, stuff like that, where these raccoons could get in and feed. I don't know. I really think there's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
I really think you could really turn this into something.
The one that would be like Daniel Boone National Forest and Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky, the LBL, whatever. There's a lot of people that squirrel hunt and coon hunt and stuff out there at the LBL, and I don't know, but I know there are reportings of, you got the one I listened to with Tony Merkel, and it was in the Daniel Boone National Forest, and then you probably know about the LBL monster or whatever.
Yeah,
that's our like Dogman.
That's our goriest episode.
What number is that? I want to hear. I haven't gone through your whole catalog yet. You have to check it. You have to go back through it and text that to me.
Okay. But no, that one we had to put so many warnings in the title of that one because the Land Between the Lakes is just the goriest cryptid we've ever covered.
But it talks about the claws.
It does. It literally talks about the claw marks, like their hands.
Yeah.
I really think that's like it's.
So raccoon's front paws look like a hand with claws on it.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Is it looks like, you know, the 5 finger. No, I really think I'm spinning.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm trying to connect. Like all these dots are connecting.
They are, yeah. And I also wonder too if there's a paranormal connection to it. I mean, if you could have Raccoon Man, but then kind of like how there's the Bigfoot with, it could be like a paranormal thing as well. But what if there are raccoon folk out there?
Would you consider Nephilim paranormal?
Yeah, we're back to the Nephilim again.
I'm sorry. Oh gosh.
He's been waiting to use that horn.
Yeah.
Usually you only use it on me.
No. Yes, I consider Nephilim paranormal. I do 100% believe in Nephilim, by the way. It's just not my bag.
You get tired of hearing it.
It's just,
It's used a lot.
Yeah, no, I think Joel is really on to a lot of stuff with it. But that word gets thrown around on every paranormal podcast for everything.
I agree. I think it does get overused.
Like, yeah, it's just, I can't remember the last time we actually used it. I mean, you know, we did the swap cast and stuff like that, but I'm just talking about a normal episode because I definitely do not think Bigfoot's a Nephilim. Any of the Bigfoots. I think Nephilim, maybe giants and stuff like that, like what we talked about with some of the episodes with like the last remaining giants.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
No,
Nephilim.
I don't know. I haven't really looked into a study to make sure that this is actually what it is. You ever heard of Gary Wayne, Genesis 6 conspiracy?
Yeah.
Okay. He talks about the Horites that you'll see in the Bible in the Old Testament, which would have been as in the Nephilim. It would have been in those groups of people that had no beginning in the tablets in the Table of Nations. So they have a genealogy that they exist, but they don't have a genealogy. There was a group called the Horites, and they were known as hairy cave dwellers. So I'm wondering that aspect is, could there be any remnants of hairy cave dwellers? I don't know. But as far as like the Zamzumine, they had like a buzzing hum in their when they talked what they were supposed to have, and they think that maybe they migrated out of Canaan, which is most of them where they would migrated out from would have been in the Canaan area, and for all intensive purposes, we may as well say Mesopotamia. And so they could have possibly migrated up toward Greenland, Iceland, that area where Andre the Giant was from. If you ever listen to Andre the Giant, you ever kind of hear that buzz and he has when he talks. So I was like, could he have had a little bit of that DNA in him and it just come out? to where he had that buzz and hum when he talked.
Are you talking
I don't know. That's just,
the wrestler Andre the Giant?
I think it's in
hell
France.
yeah, the wrestler.
Yeah, I think he's from.
Well,
I think he was from France.
Wasn't he from France? But yes, he was from France.
Andre
That's
Rene
true.
Roussimoff.
His
Yeah.
mom didn't recognize him when he came back.
Where was he had some ties to Greenland, I think.
It's
Maybe-
probably his
I don't
family was probably
know.
from there. I don't know if they were full like native French. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know for sure either.
We lost all of our French listeners a season back.
Uh-oh.
We just,
What did y'all do?
we
We accidentally got on a rant like 3 episodes in a row picking on them.
just blaming them.
Accidentally. It just hopped into the research. It was really weird.
You just
and they
blame
all
the
left.
French. Just blame the French.
They cannot take a joke. The Australians can. I keep making fun of them, and they keep coming back in bigger numbers.
We got some Australian listeners. They're
Good.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
We love 'em.
Hey, I tell you what, we got this one guy from Australia that listens. I guess he's listened to about all of them. And I actually got a postcard in the mail. I guess whenever the mail ran the last day of last week before the new year and all that.
I ain't even heard about this.
No, I forgot to tell you. I went and checked the mailbox today, and we had a postcard that was sent from Australia that came. That was shipped. It's got a stamp on it. 9/22 is a Christmas card, and it showed up like last week.
That's pretty cool.
That
That's
is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
We got a big box of liquor coming from Australia right now.
Heck yeah.
From halfway across the world.
I know. That's Dale.
Some kind
Here's
of
another
business.
shout out for you. Thank you. If it ever shows up, Customs
So
will probably
it's a-
keep it.
It took 3 months for that postcard to get here.
Wow.
Jeez.
Because it was stamped 9/21/22 is like a postmark stamp on it.
That is awesome.
It got here after Christmas. So
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? I know it's getting late. We're about at the hour mark.
no, man, we're just sitting here chilling, talking with y'all. I reckon we already talked about the dog or the raccoon man and raccoon hunting and put out for any stories. Anybody got any raccoon hunting stories out there that we want to hear them before they get lost to eternity.
Exactly.
That's the main
Stuff like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
I'll put all the contact stuff in the description below. I'll give you guys your guys' phone number, your address out, all that stuff, so they can get really a hold of you really quick. But no, I'll make sure all the contact stuff is down the email and everything like that. Please, guys, if you got any stories at home, please share them with these guys. Share them to us first, but go share them, especially if they're coon hunting based, because I can't do it. Like I can just do the basic interview with them. I don't know anything about
Yeah, me either. I learned a lot today. That's for sure.
yeah.
So I guess that's like our wheelhouse, is hunting with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh,
And to be and just for people that might listen, on a competition raccoon hunt, no raccoons are harvested. It's all score based only on a wild sanctioned hunt. So there's not a lot of coons that are going to get killed as far as in a competition hunt. They get treed, they get scored, you pull off of them, you go try to score another one. And not every coon hunter is going to kill every single coon that they tree. Some of them will.
We're not just bloodthirsty murderers.
Exactly. To me, it's about my dog doing and what I want that dog to do, him or her. It's not about the kill. It's about me and that relationship, my relationship with that dog, and how they perform and how they look, how they do. And pleasing me needs to be number one. And pleasing me is going and looking for a raccoon and putting up a tree, whether I kill it or whether I don't kill it. It's the next time I turn a dog loose, I want them to go look for a raccoon. Period.
I'm just checking out their picture in the background. It looks like a Sasquatch standing on a cliff, maybe from behind.
I'll show you all the stuff here in a minute.
Yeah, that's it. Like what I said, we're not bloodthirsty. We're not just out to kill.
Till turkey season rolls around. Kill them all.
Till turkey season rolls.
Then you're bloodthirsty animals.
Yeah.
Carrying a turkey out in his teeth out of the woods. No, Ohio has like 6 turkeys, so We don't hunt them. But no, so I told you guys before the show, we have our tradition how we end all of our episodes with guests. Basically, I'm going to count down for 3. We're all going to scream by, and our outro will play, and that'll be it. So if you guys are good with it, we'll do that.
We're good with it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Cryptids the Corn podcast.
Please share with a friend you think would like us. It's the best way to help our show grow.
Leave a comment, rate us, a 5-star review, and remember, there is always extra content on Patreon/CryptidsTheCorn.com.
And don't forget, stay magical.